Now let us listen to chapter number 2, The Sound of Music. Part 1. Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Page number 17 to 29. Before you read. God may have taken her hearing, but He has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Read the following account of a person who fought against a physical disability and made her life a success story. Paragraph 1. Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous, yet excited, as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. Paragraph 2. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name, and she didn't move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated, and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. Paragraph 3. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day, she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. He began by tuning 2 large drums to different notes. "Don't listen through your ears," he would say. "Try to sense it some other way," says Evelyn. "Suddenly, I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down." Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. "I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work." Paragraph 4. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. Paragraph 5. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you'll get there. And she got right to the top. The world's most sought-after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. Paragraph 6. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Men with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. It is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. Paragraph 7. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the string into her fingertips. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. Paragraph 8. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Says master percussionist James Blades. God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Paragraph 9. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. I've just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says, she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. Paragraph 10. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped people, who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. Thinking about the text. Question number 1. Answer these questions in a few words or a couple of sentences each. 1. How old was Evelyn when she went to the Royal Academy of Music? 2. When was her deafness first noticed? When was it confirmed? Question number 2. Answer each of these questions in a short paragraph of about 30 to 40 words. 1. Who helped her to continue with music? What did he do and say? 2. Name the various places and causes for which Evelyn performs. Question number 3. Answer the question in 2 or 3 paragraphs of about 100 to 150 words. 1. How does Evelyn hear music? Let us now listen to Part 2. The Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Before you read, do you know these people? What instruments do they play? Think of the Shehnai, and the first thing you'll probably imagine is a wedding or a similar occasion or function. The next would probably be Ustad Bismillah Khan, the Shehnai maestro, playing this instrument. Paragraph 1. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument. Now listen to the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Paragraph 1. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemakers. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chamber and was played by a nai or barber, the instrument was named the Shehnai. Paragraph 2. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious, and for this reason it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Nobat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. Paragraph 3. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played gilli danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumrao in Bihar. Regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by the local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. Paragraph 4. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather, Rasul Bakhsh Khan, was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur king's court. His father, Paigambar Bakhsh, and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. Paragraph 5. The young boy took to music early in life. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Benares, now Varanasi, Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncle's practice the Shehnai. Soon, Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Bakhsh to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Bakhsh was employed to play the Shehnai. Ali Bakhsh would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. Slowly, he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts, where he could practice in solitude. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. Paragraph 6. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Fayyaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. Paragraph 7. When India gained independence on 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. He poured his heart out into Raga Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. Paragraph 8. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. The King of Afghanistan was not only the one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Gooj Uthi Shehnai. The film was a hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chart buster. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two: Vijay Bhatt's Gooj Uthi Shehnai and Vikram Srinivasa's Kannada venture Sanadi Apanna. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis. Paragraph 9. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tahar Mosiki Ustad Bismillah Khan. Paragraph 10. National awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan, and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. Paragraph 11. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. With the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, "All I would like to say is, teach your children music, that is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music." Paragraph 12. In spite of having travelled all over the world, Khan Sahib, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Benares and Dumrao, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Benares by replicating the temples there. But Khan Sahib asked him if he would be able to transport River Ganga as well. Later, he is remembered to have said, "That is why, whenever I am in a foreign country, I keep yearning to see Hindustan. While in Mumbai, I think of only Benares, and while in Benares, I miss the unique matcha of Dumrao." Paragraph 13. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India, one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Ustad Bismillah Khan passed away on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90 after a prolonged illness. He was given a state funeral, and the government of India declared one day of national mourning. In an excerpt of Bismillah Khan's interview, published in Reader's Digest, October 2005 issue, Shekhar Gupta asked, "When partition happened, didn't you and your family think of moving to Pakistan?" Bismillah Khan answered, "God forbid, me leave Benares? Never. I went to Pakistan once. I crossed the border just to say, I have been to Pakistan. I was there for about an hour. I said namaskar to the Pakistanis and salam alaikum to the Indians. I had a good laugh." Word meanings. Generic name means a name given to a class or group as a whole. Reeded means wind instruments which have reeds like the flute, the clarinet, etc. Auspicious means promising to bring good fortune. Indispensable means without which a piece of work cannot be done. Ensembles, pronounced ensemble. Things, here instruments, considered as a group. Paternal ancestors means ancestors of the father. On end means for a very long time without stopping. Taken in by means attracted or charmed by. Souvenirs means things given in memory of a place, person, or event. Chartbuster means record breaker. Celluloid means old-fashioned way of referring to films. Venture means project that often involves risk. Conferred means given, usually an award or a degree. Coveted means much desired. Devout means believing strongly in a religion and obeying its laws and following its practices. Thinking about the text. Tick the right answer. The Shehnai or Pungi was a reeded noisemaker. Bismillah Khan or a barber or Ali Baksh transformed the Pungi into a Shehnai. 3. Bismillah Khan's paternal ancestors were barbers or professional musicians. 4. Bismillah Khan learned to play the Shehnai from Ali Baksh or Pegambar Baksh or Ustad Fayaz Khan. 5. Bismillah Khan's first trip abroad was to Afghanistan or USA or Canada. Find the words in the text which show Ustad Bismillah Khan's feelings about the items listed below. Then mark a tick in the correct column. Discuss your answers in class. The table contains Column 1. Bismillah Khan's feelings about. Column 2. Positive. Column 3. Negative. And column 4. Neutral. Column A contains 1. Teaching children music. 2. The film world. 3. Migrating to the USA. 4. Playing at temples. 5. Getting the Bharat Ratna. 6. The banks of the Ganga. 7. Leaving Benares and Dumrao. Answer these questions in about 30 to 40 words. 1. Why did Aurangzeb ban the playing of the Pungi? 2. How is a Shehnai different from a Pungi? 3. Where was the Shehnai played traditionally? How did Bismillah Khan change this? 4. When and how did Bismillah Khan get his big break? 5. Where did Bismillah Khan play the Shehnai on 15th August 1947? Why was the event historic? 6. Why did Bismillah Khan refuse to start a Shehnai school in the USA? 7. Find at least 2 instances in this text which tell you that Bismillah Khan loves India and Benares. Thinking about language. Question number 1. Look at these sentences. Evelyn was determined to live a normal life. Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. The italicized parts answer the questions. What was Evelyn determined to do? And what did Evelyn manage to do? They begin with the to verb. To live, to conceal. Complete the following sentences, beginning with a to verb. Try to answer the questions in brackets. The school sports team hopes blank, bracket, what does it hope to do? Bracket close. 2. We all want blank, bracket start. What do we all want to do? Bracket close. 3. They advised the hearing impaired child's mother blank, bracket start. What did they advise her to do? Bracket close. 4. The authorities permitted us to blank, bracket start. What did the authorities permit us to do? Bracket close. 5. A musician decided to blank, bracket start. What did the musician decide to do? Bracket close. Question number 2. From the text on Bismillah Khan, find the words and phrases that match these definitions and write them down. The number of the paragraph where you will find the words or phrases has been given for you in brackets. 1. The home of royal people, blank, from paragraph 1. 2. The state of being alone, blank, paragraph 5. 3. A part which is absolutely necessary, blank, paragraph 2. 4. To do something not done before, blank. 5. Without much effort, blank, paragraph 13. 6. Quickly and in large quantities, blank and blank, paragraph 9. Question number 3. Tick the right answer. 1. When something is revived, it remains dead or lives again. 2. When a government bans something, it wants it stopped or started. 3. When something is considered auspicious, welcome it or avoid it. 4. When we take to something, we find it boring or interesting. When you appreciate something, find it good and useful. 5. When you appreciate something, you find it good and useful or find it of no use. 6. When you replicate something, you do it for the first time or for the second time. 7. When we come to terms with something, it is still upsetting or no longer upsetting. Question number 4. Dictionary work. The sound of the Shehnai is auspicious. The auspicious sound of the Shehnai is usually heard at marriages. The adjective auspicious can occur after the verb be, as in the first sentence, or before a noun, as in the second. But there are some adjectives which can be used after the verb be and not before a noun. For example, Ustad Fayaz Khan was overjoyed. We cannot say, the overjoyed man. Look at these entries from the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary 2005. Elder. Adjective. 1. Only before noun. Of people, especially two members of the same family. Older. My elder brother. Or his elder sister. 2. The elder is used without a noun immediately after it to show who is the older of two people, the elder of their two sons. 3. The elder, formal, is used before or after subject's name to show they are the older of two people who have the same name. For example, the elder Pitt, Pitt the elder. Awake, adjective, not before noun, means not asleep, especially immediately before or after sleeping. To be half or fully awake, or to be wide awake. For example, I was still awake when he came to bed. Consult your dictionary and complete the following table. The first one has been done for you. The table contains column 1, adjective, column 2, only before noun, column 3, not before noun, column 4, both before and after the verb be. Column 1 contains indispensable, impressed, afraid, outdoor, paternal, countless, priceless. Use these words in phrases or sentences of your own. Speaking. Imagine the famous singer Kishori Amonkar is going to visit your school. You have been asked to introduce her to the audience before her performance. How would you introduce her? Here is some information about Kishori Amonkar you can find on the internet. Read the passage and make notes of the main points about her percentage, the school of music she belongs to, her achievements, her inspiration, awards. Padma Bhushan Kishori Amonkar, widely considered the finest female vocalist of her generation, was born in 1931, daughter of another great artist, Srimati Mogubai Kurdikar. In her early years, she absorbed the approach and repertoire of her distinguished mother's teacher, Ustad Alladiya Khan. As her own style developed, however, she moved away from Alladiya Khan's Jaipur Atroli Gharana style in some respects, and as a mature artist, her approach is usually regarded as an individual, if not unique, variant of the Jaipur model. Kishori Amonkar is a thinker, besotted by what she calls the mysterious world of her ragas. She dissects them with the precision of a perfectionist, almost like a scientist, until the most subtle of shades and emotions emerge and re-emerge. She is very much inspired by the teachings of the ancient Vedic sages, written at a time when vocal music was highly devotional in character. The soul-searching quality of her music, coupled with a very intellectual approach to raga performance, has gained her quite a following in India and has helped to revive the study of Khayal. Significant awards bestowed on this artist include the Sangeet Natak Akademi Award 1985, the Padma Bhushan 1987, and the highly coveted Sangeet Samradhini Award, considered one of the most prestigious awards in Indian classical music in 1997. Use your notes on Kishori Amonkar to introduce her to an imaginary audience. You may use one of the following phrases to introduce a guest. I'm honored to introduce, or I feel privileged to introduce, or we welcome you. Writing. If you work hard and know where you're going, you'll get there, says Evelyn Glennie. You have now read about two musicians, Evelyn Glennie and Ustad Bismillah Khan. Do you think that they both worked hard? Where did they want to go? Answer these questions in 2 paragraphs, one on each of the two musicians. Quote: